Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy.
I know you have. I know you have,
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. Or you're
I'm not trying to get you.
All you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not going to get one. Okay. I'm not signing nothing.
On what seemed like an ordinary evening back in 2011, emergency alarms started going off at a local 7-Eleven. Reports of an armed robbery quickly flooded the local police department, but by the time officers arrived on the scene, the suspect had vanished. After widening their search perimeter, police reportedly heard a commotion inside a nearby house. Lacking any other leads, they burst in and discovered a known heroin addict sitting inside with a firearm. Without any further evidence to go on, they took the man into custody and brought him in for questioning. That alleged addict was Jeff Pearson, the actual perpetrator of the robbery. What followed would go down in history as one of the rare moments a suspect single-handedly beat the police at their own game, all while enduring severe heroin withdrawal. This is the story of what happens when a suspect completely outsmarts the detectives. The ensuing 24 hours were caught on the interview room's police cameras. However, unlike most interrogation footage you see, this clip was actually first uploaded to the web by the suspect himself on his personal YouTube channel on September 25th, 2011. This is the earliest hint of why Jeff became a cult figure and a genuine legend within the interrogation watching community. While Jeff was held in police custody for nearly a full day, the total footage from his 3 separate questioning sessions amounts to barely 15 minutes. Because the robbery and subsequent arrest happened in the state of Georgia, the standard minimum sentence he faced was roughly 10 years in prison, scaling up to a maximum of life without the possibility of parole. Yet, as it turned out, Jeff wouldn't serve a single minute of that time. Instead of spending decades behind bars, he spent his day getting served sodas and candy bars while putting on an absolute masterclass in how to handle yourself in police custody. The upcoming footage gives us a first-hand look at the exact tactics the police will throw at you, and precisely how to dodge them like a seasoned pro. The video kicks off with Jeff in handcuffs inside a cramped, windowless room, already changed into prison scrubs. It's obvious he's already been processed through booking and spent time in a holding cell, giving the detectives time to try and piece together evidence before starting their interrogation.
Am I under arrest?
For now.
I'm under arrest?
Yeah, I'll explain everything, but before I explain myself to you, before we talk to each other, I need to read your rights, okay?
What am I under arrest for?
Well, like I said, I need to read your rights first. Obviously, the charge is robbery, okay?
Right out of the gate, Jeff asks if he is officially under arrest and demands to know the charges. From the very first second, it's clear Jeff did his homework, because this is precisely how you should handle this exact scenario. At this point, you have 2 paths. If you aren't under arrest or being legally detained, you can state that you are under no obligation to stick around answering questions and walk right out of the room. If you're under arrest, your move is to immediately invoke your right to an attorney and remain completely silent until they arrive. Taking these steps gives you the absolute best shot at halting the police in their tracks so you can build a proper defense. What's ironic is that when you are placed under arrest in the United States, the police are legally required to remind you of these exact protections. Listen closely to the Miranda warning this detective reads to Jeff.
Arrest for robbery?
You are, but let me read your rights real quick, okay? And then I'll explain it all to you. Is that okay? Let me do that real fast? All right, Jeff. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we question you, and have him or her with you during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer and you want one, a lawyer will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you'll still have the right to stop answering questions at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time that you want until you talk to the lawyer. Does that make sense? You've probably heard these before, haven't you?
These basic points are incredibly vital, yet everyday citizens frequently overlook them due to the sheer panic of being arrested. Because we hear these exact lines repeated so often in pop culture, crime dramas, and movies, most people completely tune out when their rights are being read to them. They fail to realize that they are being handed the exact blueprint needed to stay protected while in police custody. What the detective conveniently leaves out, however, is that the moment you ask for an attorney while under arrest, all questioning must immediately stop. You have an absolute, unchallengeable right to refuse every single question they throw your way until a lawyer is sitting next to you. The detective even wraps up the warning with a subtle dig about Jeff's history, a psychological trick meant to remind him that he's already a convicted criminal in the system.
Does that make sense? Do you understand your rights? Do you understand your rights, Jeff? Yes or no? You understand?
We're getting paid more than you are, so we can sit here for a long time, man.
I just need you to answer me yes or no. Do you understand your rights? Let's get through that question. Do you understand what I read you?
Having just been explicitly told he has the right to remain silent, Jeff decides to do exactly that. The lead detective leans back in his chair, a power move intended to signal that he isn't bothered by Jeff's silence and has all the time in the world. However, this type of body language usually masks a sense of frustration. It's obvious the detective realizes right here that this interrogation is going to be an uphill battle.
If you got something that says you didn't do this robbery, this is your chance to talk to us.
Okay, good cop.
No, usually I'm the prick.
You look like the prick.
I am.
If this was a battle for dominance, Jeff just took every psychological weapon the cops had and threw it straight into the trash can.
So am I under arrest?
Yes, you're under arrest.
Get me back to the cell. I don't talk to you, motherfucker.
Okay, fair enough.
Throughout this opening round of questioning, Jeff demonstrated the textbook way to behave under the circumstances. He is well aware that the police have no real case against him. If they did, they wouldn't be wasting time trying to talk him into a corner. So he stays completely tight-lipped, forcing them to send him straight back to his cell. But just 2 hours later, he's hauled right back into the exact same room for round 2.
You want a Coke?
Yeah.
You gonna be able to pop it open or you need me to?
I need methadone.
You need methadone?
Yeah, you guys can get me that methadone?
I don't have any. Do you have medication for it, or a prescription for it? Or?
No.
What do you need methadone for?
Because I'm a fucking junkie and you guys, I can't get no methadone. I'm gonna go through withdrawal here in a minute.
Jeff requested nothing more than a simple can of soda before coming back to the room, but he immediately brings up the withdrawal symptoms that are undoubtedly starting to set in. The drug he requests at the beginning of this clip is methadone, which can be utilized to heavily dull the brutal impact of opioid withdrawal. It likely would have eased the intense cravings he had been battling the entire time he was locked in police custody.
How long you been using heroin?
Long time, buddy.
10 years? 15 years?
I hardly been alive that long. What are you trying to talk to me about here?
Talk to you about what happened last night. Look, here's the deal. Either you're in a bad set of circumstances or you went and committed an armed robbery last night.
Yeah,
right?
I'm in a shitty, wrong place at the wrong time, obviously. I didn't commit no fucking armed robbery.
All right, then let's talk about this. Let's
I
not
don't talk to the police, man.
Jeff is completely done with the small talk and forces the conversation right back to the point. From his perspective, he's been locked up for a crime he claims he didn't commit, and he wants out of that room as fast as possible.
Okay.
I've been through the system, buddy. I know how it works.
I know you have.
You're
Jeff.
not my friend.
I'm not your friend.
You're trying to fucking get me. I'm
not trying to get you.
All you're trying to get is some fucking stupid ass fucking confession, and you're not going to get one.
Jeff, I'm not going to get a confession out of you for nothing.
Exactly, because I didn't do nothing.
I'm not trying to get a confession out of you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I didn't commit no armed robbery, and y'all ain't got no fucking evidence saying I did. Let me go. All you did is find me sitting in my buddy's house because my fucking buddy's dog's going ape shit. I go outside. There are cops everywhere. And they spotlight me. They say, come here. I say, what's up? They search me. They ain't find nothing. What's up?
Let me read this.
No.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to sign it.
You don't have to sign it. But let me read it for you. Okay?
I'm not signing nothing.
You don't have to sign it.
There's a hilarious irony in this detective claiming he isn't out to get Jeff, all while keeping him cuffed in a tiny room and grilling him for information. Yet even under these conditions, Jeff's responses are so spot on they sound completely scripted. It's a phenomenal demonstration of personal legal self-defense. It's also worth noting Jeff's point about how the police are solely focused on squeezing a confession out of him. One of the primary frameworks used in modern interrogations is the Reed technique, formulated by a former police officer and psychologist in the 1960s after he successfully got a confession from a man suspected of killing his wife. The process uses a 9-step structure, starting with a casual talk about why the suspect is the prime focus, followed by using specific posture and environmental cues to imply obvious guilt. The final stage involves presenting the suspect with 2 scenarios, one sounding slightly more understandable than the other. However, agreeing to either option serves as an admission of guilt and counts as a full confession. This framework is designed to back a suspect into a corner, and it is notoriously effective at extracting false confessions from completely innocent individuals. In fact, the very murder case that inspired the technique completely unraveled later on, when it was discovered the husband was entirely innocent and had simply been manipulated into a fraudulent confession. It is next-level psychological gaslighting.
Tell me what happened last night. Plain and simple. Your side of the story.
I'm not talking to you. I'm a lawyer.
All right. This is what I don't understand. I know,
what
but this is what I don't understand,
Well,
Jeff. You were sitting there talking just like you were ready to sit here and tell me what happened last night, and then all of a sudden I read that to you, and you screw it, I ain't talking to you. I want a lawyer. I don't understand that. What changed just in the...
Because I told you what, I already told you what happened.
You didn't.
How didn't I?
You didn't tell me what happened last night.
How didn't I just tell you what?
But now you've handcuffed me, and I can't talk to you because you've asked for an attorney. So, okay, that's fine. But I will tell you right now, you're still on a hold for a robbery.
I know. I don't know why. I need a fucking lawyer because obviously I didn't do nothing. And obviously you guys know I didn't do nothing because I've been arrested for the same bullshit before, and you guys don't interview me this much. So, wham bam, thank you for the coke, put me back in the cell. That's my home.
We haven't interviewed you yet.
At this point, Jeff has officially demanded a lawyer and has gone back to refusing any further questions. We are only halfway through the footage, and Jeff's knack for self-preservation and dismantling this detective's confidence only escalates from here.
Here's what the deal is. I have enough evidence
Like what?
of the armed robbery, okay? But, you know, if you're saying you didn't do it, you need to give me your side of the story.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, give me your side of the story. You got, convince me. Because I got a lot of evidence. I got a lot of physical evidence.
Well, like what? Name the physical.
Well, I don't need to, why should I tell you that?
This is the moment where the detective's desperation truly starts to show. Recognizing that his window of opportunity is closing fast, he completely drops the elaborate psychological strategies. Instead, he pivots to overt intimidation, bluffing about a massive pile of evidence that could easily put Jeff away. If he actually possessed that kind of proof, he'd be using it to make Jeff panic and spill the details. Instead, he relies on a weak, transactional argument, suggesting that because Jeff isn't cooperating, the police won't do him any favors either.
There's only a couple pieces of evidence I'm missing.
Name them.
What's that?
Name them.
Well, why do I need to do that? You haven't helped me out at all. You give me a little bit, I give you a little bit. We go back and forth. I give you one of my pieces of evidence, now give me a little something. Alright? What time do you get over to Aaron's house?
No, anything I say here can and will be used against me.
Sure, but anything you say here, I can also tell your parole officer that you helped me out.
That doesn't mean
Now completely desperate, the detective attempts to cut a deal with Jeff, promising to pitch a good word to his parole officer if he cooperates. Jeff, however, immediately sees right through it, knowing a recommendation means absolutely nothing. What good is a gold star from a cop if you're facing 20 years in a prison cell? This moment heavily reinforces the reality that the police have zero leverage to convict Jeff, and it proves they know they are losing the clock. Even though Jeff explicitly invoked his right to counsel, they continue to sit there and interrogate him, a direct and flagrant violation of the basic rights they read to him 3 separate times. They are well aware that if they don't break him soon, they will have to let him go, and Jeff is keeping a very close eye on the clock. Over the next 4 minutes of the interview, Jeff consistently shoots down and pushes back against every single claim the police make. They bring up the firearm found at the scene, repeatedly try to negotiate a deal, and even attempt to terrify him by painting a grim picture of what returning to prison will feel like, especially while stripped of the substances he's dependent on. But through it all, Jeff maintains a completely blank expression. He knows victory is right around the corner.
I'm done, man. Fuck this. I'm not even answering. All this shit that I just said is gonna be fucking written in the discovery now, right?
What? You haven't said nothing.
I mean, every little stupid thing that you've asked me, dude, is gonna be in the discovery.
I'm not even going to do discovery.
The prosecutor is.
Okay. So, you halfway know the system, how things work, and you halfway don't. Am I right?
I half-ass know
Yeah.
that the only reason I came up here is to get a fucking Coke.
Okay.
And I got it. But now I want a Butterfinger.
But that's not going to happen for a while.
What, the Butterfinger?
Yeah.
Why not? I need to go to the hospital. I'm coughing up blood.
Okay.
Let's go to the hospital.
For hours on end, law enforcement aggressively interrogated a man who was visibly suffering, denying him access to a legal prescription that could alleviate his withdrawal, all while grilling him over a crime they had no physical evidence to back up. Through all of that pressure, Jeff kept his cool, casually asking for soft drinks and chocolate bars. Jeff understood that a single slip of the tongue could cause his entire defense to crumble, so he stood on his constitutional rights flawlessly. 12 hours later, official records show he was cut loose from custody and walked out a free man. Reports indicate that this moment served as a massive turning point for Jeff. He successfully beat his heroin addiction and now actively posts on the very same YouTube channel where this legendary footage was first shared. Today he writes music and shares advice on how citizens can protect themselves from police manipulation.